Action.
Okay. You know, the way I looked at it and talking to him that day, it totally reminds me of Romeo and Juliet. I mean, it's such a tragic story, you know? I don't know how to explain it. I mean, Sid didn't have the nerve to kill himself, but Nancy, she targeted him. If it wasn't him, it would have been somebody else. And she wanted to go out in a blaze of glory, both of them killing themselves. But Sid couldn't do it, man. When I saw him arrested for it, I couldn't believe it. I mean, you know, the way I look at him being Italian and everything, definitely a Romeo and Juliet scenario. What else can I say, man, you know? And my background, you know, dates back to knowing everybody at the time. You know, my label, very first album, the Blondie album. In the Sun, Sex Offender. My name, Undercover Productions, on there. We were Blondies, myself and my partner, very first manager. My name and credits are on the first album. It was on Private Stock Records, which was owned by Frankie Valli, believe it or not. Richard Goddard and Marty Dow actually produced the album. It was done on top of Radio City Music Hall. It was out of sight. I forget the name of the studio, but it was smoking back in the time.
Did you try to record or manage Sid?
At the time, you know, there were so many people that wanted to do records with me. My label Undercover at the time was famous. Patti Smith and Because the Night, that song that Springsteen wrote from her, I had sold Patti a bike at the time, and she loved the name Undercover. So if you hear in her song, she says, because the night belongs to lovers, you take my hand from undercover, because she loved the name Undercover, man. So she changed that word from the original Bruce Springsteen song, you know what I mean, which was very cool. But yeah, I knew everybody back then, you know? But my favorite was always Thunders, you know? I used to love Johnny Thunders. I mean, I can't say nothing else. Thunders also wanted to do stuff for my label. But you know the way Johnny was. He'd do anything for anybody's label, you know? And that's about it, man. You know, what can I say about Sid? When I saw him, you know, charged for that, I knew he didn't do it. He didn't have the heart, man. But that Nancy, she was horrible. What can I say, man?
And what's your last name?
Riccardi, Gino Riccardi.
Thanks a lot, Gino.
No problem. Should I list them?